We've had an interesting question, and that was whether we could reduce the amount of retention in this little ring. So this can easily be done. I'm going to go to the guide module, and under the stackable attachment, we can simply remove the internal retention, and that'll get rid of it completely, rendering this a passive fit. But if you'd like to go one step further and scale these, this can also easily be done. So if you follow me exactly, we're going to open up the properties, make sure you're in the properties, and we're going to go to this little green triangle. And here we've got something called vertex groups. Open up the vertex groups, and then in edit mode tab, I should be able to select these vertex groups associated with these attachments. So here, for example, this is the top, and then we've got the front section, and then we've got also the front section. Select Alt A to deselect, and the retention, and this is what we want to focus on. So let us duplicate this model just to demonstrate. You don't need to do this. Shift D, and then duplicate model I'm going to put into wireframe mode. Wireframe mode, so that we can visualize and see how this actually works. Back to the guide. Then I'm going to select my model. In edit mode, we're going to then select, make sure the retention is selected as it is. Now there's three things we need to do. Number one, we need to go up here and make sure that, so this one over here, make sure that we have individual origins selected, because we're scaling across the individual origins of all of these vertices. If you have this set on median for example, or anything else, active element, it will scale across the active element, and that's going to be a disaster. So make sure that this is on individual origins. This can be global or local, doesn't really matter. Make sure that the snap magnet is off, because we don't want these vertices magnetized and snapping on somewhere. We don't want that. Make sure that the proportional editing is off, because when we're scaling, we don't want everything else to scale with it. So it's these three things that are very super important. Now I'm going to zoom in, and we're going to then click on S to scale, and I'm going to put in 0.99, and this would then have scaled this, attached this ring by about a few microns. We can make a measurement, but it is a very, very small percentage. So going back, I'm going to click S to scale 0.95, and that's a little bit more. So I think it's about 5%. I'm not 100% sure. And then we're going to go scale S 0.90. Alright, so this has scaled it even more. So we've got even a less of a clipping effect. And this would have done this across the board on each and every single one. So yeah, and then just tab out of edit mode, and then you can use it as it is with less retention.